Hey guys, Sean T. Phillips here with my brand new video talking about the most valuable out-of-print horror movies that I have on DVD and Blu-ray. Now this video is all on, like I said, focusing on the horror films that I have on DVD and Blu-ray that are out of print. And I basically went through the collection, pulled out the titles, and I was looking up on my phone the prices and looking up ones that, that I thought may have been out of print and all that kind of stuff. And I was just finding all the ones that were out of print and pulled them out. Of course, though, I know for sure, though, there are probably a number of ones that I missed. So as you guys watch this video, if you guys see any that I scroll across that I didn't talk about that you guys know out of print, definitely leave me comments below and let me know. Also let me know too what are some of the out of print DVDs and Blu-rays that you have in your collection that you didn't notice me showing in mine, or ones that you guys recommend that I look for that are out of print. And of course too, when it comes to out of print, I bought these ones when they first released, so that I didn't buy them for like the crazy prices. I bought them when they were brand new, but because I've been collecting DVDs since they came out in like 97, so I've been having DVDs forever, and then eventually moved into Blu-ray, and then of course 4K, so it's kind of like I've been through all the formats. And before DVD I had a huge VHS collection, but now though, in this video though, is focusing all on the horror films in the collection that are out of print. In the other two out of print videos I did in the past though, I showed comedy films and all that kind of stuff, so other different genres of films, so definitely check out the links below for those ones. And I don't feel like though a whole lot changed when it comes to the other films that I have that are out of print. I'm sure there are a few in here that I may not have shown in the past videos, but like I said, check out the ones below though as well, and I show you more other things that I have that are non-horror related. But anyway though, guys, let the most valuable out of print horror video collection video begin. Okay, so we'll get started here, and basically what I did though was I went line by line and started taking out the ones that I knew were out of print. I was also like looking up certain ones and all that kind of stuff. But like I was saying though, make sure you check out the other links below, because in those ones I show non-horror related out of print ones, and there's not a ton that I have that are non-horror. I'm sure there's some that I don't know, but with horror I'm much more familiar with which ones are and aren't out of print. But as I go across these ones, I'll talk about some of the ones, and also let me know if you guys notice any other things here that I'm showing that are out of print as well. This one, I can't show the cover to this one because it's kind of gross, but it's one called After Dark Genesis. This is actually a very, very rare one. I think it's from Unearthed Films. Let's see here, Aubrey Rose. This is one of the ones from the Twilight time releasing. And this one I feel like at some point might get released again, but this is actually a very, very good movie. A lot of the Twilight time titles are out of print. There's a number of these ones. I haven't actually seen Twilight time release anything, unless I'm like totally missing. I haven't seen any new titles from them in quite a while now. And this one here, I've talked about this a lot, and I believe now when I was looking this up, this is now out of print. It's a movie here called Biozombie, which is actually a really fun movie. It's basically though kind of like a Dawn of the Dead movie, all set in a mall. If you guys have seen this one, let me know what you guys thought, but this is one I would really recommend you guys check out. And it's got like a dubbed version on here, and normally I don't watch the dubbed version, but with this particular movie I'd recommend it, because the guys that dub the characters are kind of like these Bill and Ted guys, and they're real like goofy and over the top, but it's a really, really fun zombie movie. And this one here, this is the Black Christmas remake. A lot of people don't realize this one has a Blu-ray release. This is a Canadian Blu-ray release of this one. This one's actually really, really rare and hard to come across. You come across the DVD all the time because there's a US DVD as well, but there's no US Blu-ray of this one. And this is okay. I don't know if I like it. When you compare it to the new remake, I think the original remake was better though. And Body Double, this one here, I've talked about this a lot, the Brian De Palma film. That's like an absolute must watch. If you guys have never seen that movie, absolutely amazing. And this particular edition's out of print, but I think there's a burn on demand one that's now much easier to find. Blue Sunshine, this is one that I absolutely love, directed by Jeff Lieberman. And this is like I can't remember where I had to order this from. This is from like a specific website you had to get it from. I think it was Centrix was the company that put this one out. But I remember like ordering this one from their website, and like but this is a amazing movie, and I believe I heard something about like maybe a 4K release or something like that of that one. I don't know for sure. This one here, Cannibal Ferox, a super gory cannibal film. I've talked about this one a lot. This one is now out of print. And now we'll look over here. This one I got at with Danny the Cinestalker in a really like terrible video rental store that was like one of the dirtiest ones I ever was at in my life. It was like dust over everything. But this movie starring Karen Black, wasn't this with Karen Black? Yeah, with Karen Black, called Children of the Night. This is one that I used to watch on TV all the time and used to really like this one. So I was really happy to find this one because this is a really obscure one you really do not see too often, but a pretty good vampire movie that you, like I said, you don't hear about much at all. And then this one here has a terrible story behind it because of what the director was doing and all this stuff, but this is a very rare one. This one I actually found at a Saturday matinee. Those are all gone now, but there was a Saturday matinee that I used to go to that, before they all closed and when I was still in Maryland, that, used to always put out movies early. They would put movies out like sometimes 2, sometimes 3 weeks early, and this movie ended up getting pulled from shelves, but since they put it out early, I ended up finding it. So I didn't even know at the time anything about the stories, what terrible stuff was happening behind the scenes with the director and one of the actors. I didn't know any of that stuff, but at the time I had no idea that it was going to go out of print or not get released or anything like that. This one here, Cemetery Man, this one has never had a Blu-ray release in the US. I'm hoping at some point this does. This one stars Rupert Everett. This is actually a great movie about his character working in a cemetery, and like he kind of is like messing around with the corpses and seeing things, and all kind of weird stuff is going on. It's a great movie. This one here is another one, at least in the US, has never had a Blu-ray release. I don't think it has anywhere. I don't believe so. Cheerleader Camp. And this is actually a really fun movie that you kind of don't hear about as much. Like I said, this one is Cheerleader Camp. That was one of the Anchor Bay ones. Always look up Anchor Bay, because Anchor Bay can be very valuable. Now this one, some of them though can be super common though. This one though, I do have the tin. It's up there in the top shelf, so I do have the tin of this one, because people always ask if I have the tin. But this is the Friday the 13th collection with all of them together, and all the sequels. That one though is really, really, really hard to come across now. And I remember like at the time it was really expensive, but then if you look at the prices now, it's like crazy. This is one, I was looking this one up just to see if it went out of print, and it did. This one here called End of the Line. The director of this movie also made a film called Slashers, which is a really, really cool film. It was kind of done at the time when it was when Slashers was kind of like when reality TV started getting really popular. It was kind of like a reality TV show. And they were all like have to like survive and kill each other and see who lives at the end. This one here though was about a group of people, stuck in a subway underground with this like crazed religious cult down there. And this is a great movie, and like you never hear about this movie. And if you guys have seen this one, let me know what you guys thought. But really cool cover on this one as well. But like I said, one that you never ever hear about much at all. And then with Shout Factory's Scream Factory line, a number of titles have gone out of print recently, and I believe when I was looking it up, Disturbing Behavior has gone out. This one with James Marsden and Katie Holmes and Nick Stahl, when like they were at like this school, and like the kind of the bad kids were getting like something was happening to them, and they were all kind of becoming like Stepford Wife-ish and kind of acting really normal and really weird. A really, really great movie though, like real 90s movie. I always remember that song in there, The Fly, like from the band called The Fly, I believe, or Flies or something. This one here, I've never opened this one because this is like one of the top valuable ones I have, Dead Alive, Peter Jackson's movie, which is said to be like one of the, or if not the goriest movie ever made. And I mean, like the end of this movie is very, very gory. I know though Peter Jackson has said that he's like working on remastering that movie, and then there may be like a 4K or a new release of that one at some point. This one here, Death Game, this stars Colleen Camp and Sandra Locke, and this is the movie that the movie Knock Knock was a remake of. And this is from a weird company called like Cinepops or something like that. Like a lot of times too, when it comes to out of print, you always like want to check like the company. If it's like a company that you don't recognize, I would always recommend looking it up. This one here is a really fun shot-on-video movie. Then this was released from Olive Films, was a company that distributed this one, but it was a slasher video title. And this is one called Dracula in Vegas, and this is like a really wacky, ridiculous vampire movie. And like the one's mother acts in the movie, and then the mother like went on to be in like you know, adult films and stuff at the same time, and like older lady ones. Because I was looking up the people in the movie and I saw that's what she did. This one here, this might be the movie where the actress passed away like right before it released. I'm not sure if that was this one or the another one. I can't remember for sure, but this is another one that I have not seen in a really long time. But I know this one has gone out of print. It's called Dead Doll. This one I believe might be getting a re-release, Daughters of Darkness. This is a Blue Underground release of that one. This is one of the ones I do know went out of print from, you know, from Scream Factory, and this is Dolls. This is a really great movie. If you guys have never seen this one, that's an absolute must-watch. And this is a fun set here. These are both fun movies. Dr. Giggles. And I believe I've talked about Dr. Giggles a lot in the past. All this kind of movies that deal with doctors and stuff like that always freak me out, especially like crazy, weird doctors. This also has on here Otis, which was a fun movie as well, as I had not seen in a long time. And then Day of the Dead. With some of these ones too, they either with Scream Factory, either they've gone out of print by the slipcover editions are gone, or the actual edition altogether is out of print. And I know that's what a number of them now have gone out of print fully. But this one, though, I know the slipcover's out of print for Day of the Dead, but this is like probably my top favorite movie, like one of my top favorite horror movies of all time. And then Dawn of the Dead. This is the only U.S. Blu-ray release that there's ever been. This was from Anchor Bay, and they put this out in 2007, so this is one of the first Blu-rays that came out. I actually remember this was actually one of the first Blu-rays I remember actually buying. I think I got this at like Suncoast or Best Buy, one of those two. But I can't believe, though, this has never had another release in the U.S. I know Second Sight is releasing this one, a 4K collection soon, which has all the different edits of the film on 4K, because up there I do have the DVD version that has all the edits of the film as well. Now, this one, though, this is not the out-of-print edition, but if you guys have the one, it's like in a hard case, because I've never actually seen it in person, of Creepshow 2 from Arrow Video. That's one that's very, very out of print. Now, this one here is a movie that I've talked about so many times in the past being out of print. Now, if you guys, when I'm talking about this, though, I'm not talking about the Klaus Kinski Crawl Space movie. That one's, you know, from Scream Factory. That's not the out of print one I'm mentioning. This is one here, which is a TV movie from the early 70s, which is a great film about, like, this guy who ends up hiding out in this old couple's basement. And, like, they never had a kid, and because of that, they always, like, sort of, they, you know, wanted to and wish I kind of regret not having children, so they kind of like allow this guy to live in their basement and kind of like take care of him down there, but he's like doing weird stuff. It's like it's a great movie. This is a early release. I think this is actually one of the first things that Wild Eye Releasing put out in 2007, and they put out another TV movie at that time as well, and I regret not getting that one. I can't remember what it was, but a great movie. This one here, you're come across the one movie in here, because it's a 2-pack, the one Phantom Racer. You'll come across that one at Big Lots. So yeah, it's on its own disc. But every so often at Big Lots, though, I've seen Phantom Racer in there, but that one's not out of print, and I never actually watched Phantom Racer, so I don't even know if it's any good or not at all. But The Clown at Midnight, that one was from 1998, and that movie was kind of like the movie A Stage Fright, a little bit like that, a little bit about a group of people like fixing up this theater, and they're getting killed off by this you know, clown in the theater. It was actually a really, really good movie. This one here is the multi-pack set here, which has, you know, Dusk Till Dawn 1, 2, and 3, as well as the documentary on the making of the film on this one on Blu-ray. And you come across the first movie, but you don't come across the one that has Full Tilt Boogie very often at all. This is another Twilight Time, which is out of print. The Fright Night collection here, and there might have been another release of Fright Night as well that wasn't Twilight Time. I can't remember for sure, though. The other one I don't have, I wish I had, was Fright Night 2, the original, because this is Fright Night 2, the, you know, the sequel for the remake, which doesn't actually connect at all, but there was an original Fright Night 2 for the original movie, but that one is one I always wish I got. This one here is a movie called Future Kill. This has a great cover on this one. This one, I don't remember too much about what happens in this one, but I know this is one of the ones that's out of print. And I always feel like this movie would be called The Fourth Floor because of the company that can't put it out, called Apex Entertainment, which has been gone for years, but that one never seems to be out of print. This one, though, I found out when I was looking up stuff, is out of print. I didn't even know that. Was The Guest? Maybe I'm wrong about that, but when I was looking it up, it seems like it's out of print, that film, which is actually a very, very good movie. Over here, though, I guess I'll mention, too, a movie that I was in, Girls Gone Dead. That one's out of print. So if you guys ever come across that for a good price, that one is really hard to find now. This one here from Tobe Hooper, Invaders from Mars. This is one that as a kid, I watched this movie so many times. I remember buying the DVD this one when it came out at Virgin Records when I was in Florida. Now this is actually, you come across this sometimes at the Dollar Tree, but this is out of print because the company is totally out of business, called Broad Green Entertainment. Broad Green Pictures, and I always really liked the stuff that they were releasing because they put out 99 Homes and Walk in the Woods, a number of different decent movies. And this is probably one of my favorite things that they released. This is from Nicholas Winding Refn, who directed, Drive. But this is a great movie starring Elle Fanning, about the model industry world and all that kind of stuff. This one here is out of print, which I keep on expecting at some point, like, Arrow Video or, Scream Factory, somebody will release this one again. But this is, this came out exactly the same time as Lost Boys. And between the two of them, it's always kind of a tie of which vampire movie I like more. This one has really great synth music by Tangerine Dream. And, like, the flow of this movie is a little bit more, there's some cooler aspects of this movie with the vampire part of it. Although Lost Boys to me is a much more fun movie that you can watch more often, but Near Dark I think is a little bit of a better movie just all around as a movie standard. That is a really great vampire movie. Martyrs, this is the German, is this the German Blu-ray of this one I imported, or a UK Blu-ray? I can't remember for sure where I got this one, but the US one of this, the US DVD of this is out of print. Mad Butcher, that one is out of print. This is one of the Something Weird releases. Mr. Ice Cream Man, now this one is going to be getting released again soon. I'll let you guys know when this one comes out again. But this is a really crazy... Now, this is not the Clint Howard Ice Cream Man movie. This is one I've talked about a lot. It's a super cheesy, ridiculous, goofy movie about a killer ice cream man, but it's like... It almost seems like it was made by like a kid's like acting group or something, the way it's put together. This one here, Living Doll, I have not watched this movie in forever, but I remember liking this a lot though. And this one, I think I got this, maybe like was it from Amoeba Records I got this? But I know this one has gone out of print. And let's see here, a Serbian film. This is out of print now, and I've never watched this one. Everyone always says, "Oh, don't watch this one; it's too crazy." But I know that one is out of print. Lords of Illusion. When I was looking up Scream Factory ones, I believe this is one of the ones that has gone out of print. I'm not sure if it was, the slipcover only or all versions of it. Same with Life Force, which is a Tobe Hooper movie, and Leviathan, which I always liked this movie. Was Daniel Stern is in this film, and Peter Weller. And Daniel Stern even says kind of a line in this that's kind of like his line in Home Alone when he says, like in Home Alone 2, he's like, "Oh," he says, "What a hole." And in this one, he goes, "Oh, what a pair." And he says it the exact same way, like identical to how he says, "What a hole." This one here, I was looking up stuff for out of print, and I believe this has actually gone out of print. This is from Epic Pictures. Hopefully Epic Pictures will re-release this one again on Blu-ray, because they release a whole lot of stuff like Dread Presents titles and their own exclusive titles on their website. But hopefully this one comes back out again. Maybe it's still available on their website. When I was looking on like Amazon and stuff like that, it doesn't seem to be available anymore though. This one here, and I'm pretty sure the slipcover is out of print for Jack Frost, was a really fun killer snowman movie. I always really liked this movie. This is one of Shannon Elizabeth's first movies as well. And this is the Jaws, the Digibook one that I remember, like, I even have a video of this when I was trying to find this at like Best Buys, and I was going to all these different Best Buy locations trying to find this edition because there's a real limited one. I know that this is going to be coming out in a very similar kind of case, release in June, on 4K, which I'm definitely going to pick that one up. And I think there's going to be like a Best Buy Steelbook of that one, I believe, which I might get the Steelbook, or I might just get the standard one because it's in this kind of case as well. This is one here, which I can't believe it, another one that has never had a Blu-ray release, a movie here called Pin, which is really another one of these great, like, kind of weird medical kind of movies. But you don't hear, people bring up Pin very often. This is one that I love. This is one of Pauly Shore's first films, called Phantom of the Mall. This was all filmed at the Sherman Oaks Galleria. But this is a really fun, basically a guy gets burned and he kind of haunts the mall. And it's kind of really goofy and ridiculous. And Pauly Shore, like I said, it's one of his first movies. But I'm one of those kind of people who absolutely loves movies that take place in malls. And this entire movie is all in the mall. So it's like to me, it's like a perfect movie just because it's like I love watching mall setting movies. And then these ones both went out of print. At least I'm not sure if it's the Blu-rays or just the slipcovers, but for the Poltergeist sequels, which I really like these ones. Part 3 isn't amazing. Part 2, though, is really creepy. Like, these are movies that are hard to watch. All the Poltergeist movies always really creep me out. This one here is a Stephen King, based on his book, directed by Mick Garris. And I always like how the cover of this is done to look like the book cover. And this is a Quicksilver Highway, which is a really fun anthology film. And it's kind of hosted by Christopher Lloyd, and they filmed some of this at like a Pacific Park, where they used to film, like, if you guys remember on Nickelodeon, The Big Help, and also they shot the Mr. Bean movie when he goes to like the theme park, the scene in there that was filmed at Pacific Park. Now this edition here of The Ring is out of print. This, because you can get the Blu-ray still, that's very easy to find, but this lenticular cover here, which is a really cool lenticular cover, this particular one was a Best Buy exclusive, and you may still come across it sometimes, but I don't believe so. It's always hard to put these things back with one hand. This one here you can order from the director. I think you can still get it from Jeff Lieberman, but it's like a limited edition one that he sent me back in the day to review in a video. But this is a really great movie that a lot of people don't know about or have not seen, but a really, really great film. The Relic here on Blu-ray with Tom Sizemore, and this is all set in a museum about like a creature kind of thing in the museum, like killing people. It's a very, very fun movie. It came out at the same time as Mimic. It kind of has the same vibe as Mimic. It has like a very similar kind of feel to it. And if you guys are wondering, every time I cut the camera, it's because the phone starts to kind of like overheat, so I always have to keep taking it, and then take it over here, take it into this little mini fridge, put it up in here, into the freezer for like a few minutes to cool down again. Because I don't know why, every time you put the light on the phone, it always gets the camera really hot. And then it's like, if you don't do it, the phone could blow up. So it's like, I have to do it. I don't want to break the phone. But this one here, called The Sand, this is a really fun movie. And this company isn't, releasing these things anymore. I reviewed for them for a long time, called Monarch Home Entertainment. I really like the stuff that they put out. But this is one about a group of these friends going out they go out to the beach, and they party at night, and they wake up, and they're kind of like trapped in the sand because they find out there's some kind of like creature, worm-like creature in the sand. It's a really fun, kind of over-the-top, film. I really like it. And then one of the other ones here, I forgot to put this one out, is was released by Vinegar Syndrome, and it was a double feature here, which has let me get this out. It has Savage Water and Death by Invitation. This one though, Savage Water though, is the one that's out of print. I don't know if the other one could be released again, but I know there was something with the rights issue of this one, so they don't sell this one anymore. But this is a really ridiculous movie about people going like kayaking on this river, and like they're getting killed. It's like a really terrible, but like a really good bad movie. This one here is from Synapse Films, and I don't believe this is in print anymore. This one called Sick Girl, and I really like this movie. This was like this girl that kind of goes crazy and stuff, and it's killing people, but you don't. This one kind of went under the radar, and I always really liked that. This is one I believe is out of print too, from Scream Factory, and another Jeff Lieberman film here called Squirm. I always liked this movie about giant killer worms kind of taking over this community, because there was like a storm that happened, and it had to do with like electricity, I believe, and it kind of brought these worm kind of things out of the ground. It's what weird with this movie too. I don't know if anybody remembers, like when it was on. Some movies were like that. Like when they were on DVD, they were cropped differently, and I know it's a weird thing to say, but like they had like nudity in the DVD years ago because how it was cropped. So I don't even know if that was not supposed to be in there to begin with, but like it's edited out on the Blu-ray. And there's a number of movies that were like that, where like they were, you saw that on the DVD, but then the Blu-ray crops in and edits stuff. So I always wonder, like, was that not supposed to be like that on the DVD? Like I always wonder that. And this one here, I believe, is out of print. Sculpture from Camp Motion Pictures. This one here Survival Quest, from the same director who did Phantasm and Bubba Hotep, and you don't hear about this movie at all. This is like a really underrated movie with Kathleen Keener in this movie. It's basically, though, and Lance Henriksen, they're going on like this kind of like a journey, it's like basically going out and like surviving out in the woods and kind of learning the skills out in the woods and everything, and things go very bad out there. But like I said, you don't hear about that one much at all. Let's see, this is one that's out of print from Olive Films. This is a great movie, and with Seth Green, and about people going out, these kids, I think they were like bad kids going out into the woods on like a kind of like a camping trip, and you know, they're basically getting attacked by these giant killer kind of ticks. And Clint Howard is in here, and Clint Howard totally steals the show. And at one point he gets attacked by the ticks, and it kind of like infests him and everything. And he has this ridiculous line where he's like, "I'm infested." And it's like the most over-the-top, amazing acting ever. I mean, like, totally steals the show in that movie. This one here is out of print. This has been out of print for a long time. Twilight Zone, the movie. And I believe I've heard talks about this one getting released again. I don't know for sure about that, but I believe there's been talks about that getting re-released. Thinner here. This is another one from Olive Films. This isn't as valuable as Ticks is, but still, this is a very rare one to come across, about this guy who ends up hitting this gypsy with his car, and they put a curse on him, and he's this guy who's really overweight, and the curse is called Thinner, and he starts losing weight, and he's so happy because he's finally losing weight, but then he can't stop, and he keeps getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Both the Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3, the first film I don't believe is out of print, but Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 are both out of print, and these are really fun films. I've watched these movies so many times throughout the years. And I actually have a double copies of these ones, so I have some that are sealed. And this is one of the ones, too, that is out of print, the Society Blu-ray in this really cool edition from Arrow Video. This is one of the first Arrow Video ones, I believe I remember reviewing for them, or at least the first, super special edition one like this. I think the first one I remember releasing ever was Mark of the Devil, was one of the first ones I reviewed for Arrow. But this one, though, is a really fun, really weird, gross film, but definitely one of my top favorite, editions from them. Now, I do have a number of other Arrow Video, like, limited edition ones up here. So I know there's some up here that are out of print as well, like the Hellraiser, Scarlet Box. That one I know is out of print. And I don't know if, like, the George Romero collection is out of print, or the House collection. And I know Phantasm, the Phantasm set, was out of print, that edition, but I believe that got released again. Donnie Darko, I know that one is out of print, that particular edition. But in here, though, through all this, though, I have a number of other stuff that's out of print, like Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde, Camp Cucamonga, but I show all that, though, in the other out of print video. So definitely check out those ones, and I'll put a link below so you guys can check those ones out. So anyway, though, guys, that was my video showing you guys the most valuable out-of-print horror films that I have in my collection. And like I was saying, though, I'm sure, though, there was a number of ones when I was going across that I missed. So let me know in the comments below, though, if you guys noticed any out-of-print ones that you guys saw in my collection that I missed showing or talking about. Or let me know, too, like I was saying, any out-of-print and, the most out-of-print valuable DVDs and Blu-rays that you guys have in your collection that are horror-related or any genre of films. But anyway, though, guys, like I always say, if you guys enjoy these videos, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Also, let me know in the comments below any other type of videos like this you guys would like to see me do in the future. But anyway, though, guys, thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.